your child's school, would you want your child to fight back? A Massachusetts school district now considering teaching students as young as 9 and 10 years old to properly confront an intruder should their classroom come under attack. Greg Kane, co-founder of Response Options, supports the idea. Ken Trump, a school safety consultant at schoolsecurity.org, is against it. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen.
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning, Gretchen.
All right, so Greg, why is this a good thing? Because I'm thinking it through. Again, another complicated issue. But why is it a good thing to teach 9 and 10-year-olds how to defend themselves?
Well, Gretchen, because what we have in place just hasn't worked enough times. You know, and teaching kids to be aggressive is nothing new. If a pervert tries to snatch your child off the street, we've taught our children to be aggressive and escape that danger. Well, we want our kids to have that same philosophy in the school. If you're in a classroom, if you're in a cafeteria, if you're in the library, only knowing how to sit in a corner, that's not a recipe to survive this event.
Ken, you disagree with this. Is it because you believe that violence begets violence?
Well, no, actually what I believe working 25 years in school is it's unrealistic for elementary school children, and it also begs the question of whether or not 25 kids and a teacher in a classroom can simultaneously act quick enough throwing books or to actually have an impact, or whether or not it would actually cause a person who may not otherwise be ready to fire at them to shoot them. It could incite that type of situation. And we've heard some interesting concepts this year from arming teachers and bulletproof backpacks now to flying textbooks. We have methods in place in terms of training for lockdowns and evacuations, but we want adults who are well trained to be able to respond to a crisis situation as well. And I just have a hard time seeing 4th and 5th graders come out in a manner that's going to have a significant impact in that setting when they're emotional children or pre-hormonal kids to make that type
of or they've never been in that panic situation before. Even adults don't know how to react. But Greg, let me ask you this. I want you to respond to that. Because how will they use everyday objects? Let's say in a terrible situation somebody comes in the classroom with a gun. How does a book stop that?
It doesn't stop the bullet, obviously, but what it does, it creates a distraction. We want to create sensory overload in these individuals who are trying to hurt our kids. We want them to see things, to feel things, to hear things that they're going to have to psychologically deal with, and so take their focus off front side on target. And to Ken's point about elementary school, we advocate 7th grade and above get the counter strategies of our program, but that's up to local jurisdiction. But this very thing that we're talking about, kids having a hard time to affect, it's already been done. Look at the Kid Kinkle shooting at Thurston High School in Springfield, Oregon, 1998. The kids stopped that shooting. The kids are the one who put an end to it. Waiting on law enforcement to get there, and I was one of those guys who was trying to get there to the kids.
Right.
We can't get there fast enough. We're not coming until the shooting is taking place.
Exactly.
Give our kids some options.
Great point.
There are a number of law enforcement personnel, Gretchen, who have actually spoken out. Special Forces person who studied the Beslan, Russia incident, who's spoken out against this as well. So there are some others in this field with law enforcement and with your kid was in that classroom. You want them to sit there and wait.
Yeah, exactly. Ken, let me ask you this, because I have 2 small children, and we were just discussing what to do if a stranger ever approached them. And I have to tell you that I told them to kick that person in a particular place.
That's exactly right.
So, that's my child. So what is wrong with teaching them a few skills?
Well, first of all, the main thing we need to start with is teaching the adults. We have the concept of in loco parentis, and I have 2 children as well, and I've taught them exactly the same thing that you have, Gretchen. But we also have a situation where those children are in the control and custody of adults. And if I'm out at the mall with my 2 children, and something breaks and their shooting happens, I don't look at my little elementary age children and have them make a split decision under safety. I make that decision for them as a responsible adult, and that's what we want to train who are pre-hormonal and emotional to make adult decisions.
That's assuming that a teacher could have control of 30 kids all at one time to do something. But anyway,
Gretchen, in every one of these events, the teacher is always the first one to get shot. The teacher is always the first one to get shot. If that teacher is taken out, then what are the kids to do, or do they to do it? The only thing you taught them how to do is sit in a corner.
Fascinating
debate. Not in all incidents, that's not the case.
Ken Trump, this will no doubt continue. Parents out there, this may be coming to your schools, so get educated on it. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, Gretchen. Thank you.
Teachers, speaking of school.